Tonight I went to dinner. First, back up. Today, I'm in the second day of the African People's Socialist Party Congress, which is really good. It's really enlightening. I really enjoyed today because today is where we got um, to see, hear other Africans from different parts of the world call in with their sentiment. We had Jamita Fari from Colombia call in and explain the situation of Africans in Colombia. We had my brother Courtney Harewood of United Kingdom, and he called in with situations of Africans in the United Kingdom. And of course, we were here representing the United States. And there's other Africans from other different places that Congo and Sierra Leone, Guinea, um, who call in. Kenya, South Africa, who, although they couldn't be here, many because all of their visas were denied by the United States government. Um, it was really enlightening, really refreshing to know that the struggle is not something that's a national thing, and something that I've always said is that the struggle for African liberation is something that has to take an international scale. It can't just be about Black Americans doing their thing in a pocket. It has to be a worldwide movement for the freedom and liberation of African people. And so I'm sitting tonight at the table having dinner with a former child soldier who had to kill and murder people because of the situations in this country. Former child soldier who now organizes and has been successful in organizing masses of Africans on the continent and West Africa into organization that's going to create change, that's going to overturn the contradictions, and that's exciting. A former child soldier who had to see this shit up close and personal. Another brother who, because of the politics that he's speaking with regards to unifying Africa, has been exiled from his country and now lives in the United Kingdom, a country of Congo, is his native country. And then we have another African brother who's from Oakland. And while the brother was well-meaning, I'm listening to what he was saying in terms of we have to get our history and we have to know about the Olmec Empire. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, this is what so many Africans now that I hear on YouTube talking about black nationalism, black freedom, blah, blah, spend so much time talking about something that happened 2000 BC that they don't recognize what needs to fucking happen now. And maybe they don't look at what happens now because maybe it's too hard for motherfuckers to really organize and be offensive instead of defensive. Because it's easy to be defensive because you know where the fuck your enemy is when you're in defensive because he already popped you in your face. But however, but that doesn't work because now you're trying to figure out how you can swing and hit dude in the face. Offensively, you plan out the actions of your enemy and you move to adjust to it. And so sitting there and I'm listening to the brother talking about the Olmec Empire in front of a brother who had to kill people because of the conditions in this country. Brothers now in this country, United States of America, killing motherfuckers because of the conditions that was put on them. And it's time but nobody, those killers ain't organizing for nothing but themselves. And if you're going to do anything, it has to be in the liberation of African people, or otherwise we're still going to be in this state. And so I'm just excited about what happens today, and I'm looking forward to the next 3 days of conferring, not just talking about what we have done, what we are doing, but what we will do, what we are actually going to put into place to create things that we will do and organize and try to get people to really see African internationalism as their own. While it's beautiful to know your history, while it's beautiful to know all the things that African people did, it don't mean shit. It don't mean shit if you ain't learning from that shit and doing something about the conditions that those types of things created. And know why we did not come from slavery. We were not born as slavery. We did come from a long line of African people with majestic empires. But as we are now in the United States and wherever the frick we are in a terrible condition. And talking about something that happened 2,000 years ago ain't going to do shit. What we need to be talking about is what we're going to do tomorrow. What we're going to do to make it better for our children. That's what we need to talk about. That's what we need to talk about. That's what we need to implement. That's what we need to come together and do. Because pockets of Africans everywhere ain't going to do shit. And that's going to be easy for you to be taken out. Because anytime any African tried to do anything anywhere that was for the betterment of African people, they've always been eliminated. Because African people, people must understand, African people ain't worth shit to this current system, ain't worth shit to capitalists and imperialists. Because the only reason that African people have value is to bring the imperialist capitalists value. That's what the basis of the whole world racism was based on, was the free labor and the manipulation and the exploitation of African people and the wealth that it brought them. Outside of us being able to bring these people wealth, we have no fucking value. That's why you see that even though there's oil spilling in the fucking Gulf of United States, oil spills every fucking week in the Niger Delta with mass amounts of proportions. Ain't nobody saying shit because the life of an African don't mean shit. The life of an African don't mean shit. It's easy to see us dying on TV. It's easy to see us hungry because that's what people are comfortable with. What they're not comfortable with, though, is Africans organizing and really getting their shit together. So while it makes for good anecdotes to look at Africans talk about all these other shit that don't mean nothing really in the long run, when Africans start talking serious, that's when you see a fucking response. And I'm talking about some gun toting shit. I'm talking about really organizing for something that's going to be a long plan offensive. Because anything done on the defensive is going to fail. Y'all should read your sons too. That's all I'm saying. Anything done on the defensive is going to fail.